a choke day for me. All right, Mr. Boniface, can we start, please?
Yes, please go ahead.
Please go ahead. You are live. Please go ahead. You are live on YouTube now. Please go ahead. Please.
Okay, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whichever part of the world you're joining us globally. This is COPDEM People's Parliament, where we dissect socio-political issues as they affect Nigerians in general. Today, trending stories, we'll be treating number one on the trending topics, U.S. in Nigeria, talking about U.S. Embassy, where the ambassadors meeting with the Mieti Allah group is sparking reactions from Nigeria. Now, today on this COPDEM People's Parliament, we'll be focusing on the implication of U.S. mission in Nigeria and rising terrorism activities in Nigeria and Africa at large. So one will begin to wonder why an ambassador to Nigeria will be having a meeting with non-state actors. So it calls for pondering. One will begin to wonder what is actually happening. Why should a U.S. ambassador be holding an official meeting with Mieti Allah? And you begin to wonder what is happening behind the scene. Number two on the trending stories, we'll be focusing on the trending video of Boko Haram transporting their AK-47 and bikes in a fully loaded trailer that were caught in Oyo State. And the third on the topic is Plateau, Benue, Enugu, Kwara, terrorist activities, attacks. And one is wondering, where are the perpetrators? Is it that none were caught in the act? And what is the Nigerian security force doing about them? Will Nigerians deserve to know as to how many of them were caught and what deterrent is being applied to them? So it's not enough to give a presidential order of intervention. Would Nigerians are interested to know in detail how far with this intervention in terms of the restoration of peace for lives and properties of Nigeria across the states. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're glad to have you on board today at the COPDEM People's Parliament, where we dissect socio-political issues as they affect Nigerians. But we have some very honorable guests in the studio that have joined us live via Zoom. We have Mr. Boniface from the Edo State, Mr. Rampan Jr. From Plateau State. And we also have one of our regular, Ms. Grace Saban James. So thank you all for joining us. And our viewers via DDM, we thank you for keeping the time to be part of this wonderful session. So we'll be going straight to this discussion as we already started behind schedule, and our time is already far spent. Mr. Boniface, please pick one. Which of the trending topics are you interested to have a hit on? So please unmute your mic and let's get it started.
I think, Mr. Due Process, I prefer to listen today.
Okay.
I prefer to listen today. Thank you very much.
It's all right. Yesterday, I was surfing the internet, and while on X, I saw a post by the U.S. In Nigeria, that is to say, the U.S. Embassy, after an official meeting with Mieti Allah. And they were trying to sympathize with Mieti Allah as to the level of destructions done to them. And I'm wondering what exact role as the U.S. Embassy played in terms of visiting victims of this age-long terrorist attacks, genocide across the Middle Belt, especially. They've not shown any remorse, any empathy, any visits towards these states that are massively affected. You understand, before now, there have been no history of IDP camps in Nigeria. But as at today, we have IDP spread all over the Federation. And one is wondering, if you have the empathy to meet with Mietiala that have been allegedly found to be the major sponsors of these farmer herdsmen activities that are going on and discouraging a lot of people from continuing with farming activities. So the US really raised doubts and suspicion in the minds of Nigerians. And so many people are already calling them out on X that they need to clarify their role in the insecurity situation in Nigeria because of the strategic meeting they held with Mietiala Group. Mietiala Group, as we all know them, they are bent on protecting the rights, so to say, of the farmers, of the herders who moves around grazing on the Nigerian forests across every part. And they have this notion that nobody can really stop them from grazing on the available reserve, grazing reserve. And they don't just go about the grazing reserve alone. They have been accused multiple times of grazing on farmland. And farmers are the receiving ends. When they complain, some of them get killed. And at the end of the day, the governments have not shown to be interested in solving this age-long clash that is happening between the farmers and the herders. So the second topic, which has to do with the trending video of some terrorists who were caught along an expressway in Ibadan. You can all see that the insecurity is beginning to spread, and it's spreading so fast to every region in the country. Oyo State is deep, and the one that happened recently in Kwara, where there is a new terrorist group that are trying to assemble together. That one rose alarm, and a lot of Nigerians came out to have their voice against the government for allowing such a gathering in large number of terrorists who are planning to terrorize those neighboring states. And as it is, having been spotted in Oyo State with AK-47 and their bikes, so one begin to wonder, what are the rules of this road checkpoint across the population? What are they really checking? You see people moving around with assaulted rifle, and you don't get them interrogated. But if you see a civilian moving around with a camouflage, you become an object of oppression. You begin to oppress, especially the Nigerian soldiers, the Nigerian military. They don't want to see anyone on camouflage as a civilian. But we are watching videos of terrorists moving around with camouflage, with rifle, assaulted rifle, even exchanging bullets with Nigerian military. At the end of the day, what happens? They get released that they were repented under the guise of rehabilitation. So a lot is happening in the country. Benue is not scared. Enugu State is not scared. Kwara State, Plateau has been on the headline lately.
It looks as if we have a slight hitch, or is it just from my end? Elder Agbonifo, can you confirm?
No, I can't hear due process any longer. Perhaps he's having some network challenge.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Uh-oh.
He's even out. I think he's out right now.
Yeah. I know the topics are like a recurring decimal, and one cannot help but ask, how did we get this far? We're just looking at very serious issues happening in Plateau State. This is a genocide of the highest order. How can you attack a village? Killed over 50 people. That is official numbers. And then within the same state, you go to another local government, kill another 56 bodies that were recovered. What prompted that violence? Is there an agenda somewhere? And if so, the question still remains, what is the consequence for such action? Some people above the law, or some people have an extension of immunity, even within this regime. During Buhari's regime for the 8 years, not a visit to any place where the people have been attacked. In Benue State, COPDEM was able to distribute some palliatives in December 2023. Right from that time, in one, we couldn't reach all because the numbers were big, and they had to segment the people into families. And they have multiple camps. In Makurdi, they are the state capital. So continuous attack, continuous, killing, mayhem. And in some instances in Plateau State, you have the Fulani herdsmen now occupy the houses because the people have been dispersed. Women running away, pregnant women running away, some raped on the way. They run for their lives with holding their children at hand. And sometimes the men stay with cutlasses against people with AK-47. Then the military come in later. And funny enough, in those days, I don't know how it has slightly changed now, the military will come sometimes from the direction that the locals are pursuing the herdsmen. In fact, not herdsmen, because they didn't come with cows. They are pursuing the Fulani people who attack them. And then the soldiers will now attack, arrest, and sometimes kill some of the villagers, the locals who are pursuing them, that they are in possession of weapons. And some of the weapons are cutlasses, machetes, catapult, kitchen knives, the pistol used for pounding pandaya, and take them. When will we start having arrests? When will there be consequence for actions like this? Lack of consequence is injustice. Lack of consequence is conformity or approval and endorsement of such barbaric acts. Is there a script written somewhere that people in Nigeria's middle belt will be killed continuously? We are tempted to believe that there's a possibility of a gang up from international powers supplying arms to these people. We're tempted to believe that narrative. We can no longer think it's a propaganda, because how can they afford it? How can they afford all those weapons? And the cost of bullets, we don't even know how much it is for a single one, 2,000 plus or whatever, and they have rounds and rounds of them. How many cows did they sell to get that? So let's stop deceiving ourselves. Is there a narrative somewhere, as some people were believing, that in order to propagate GMO drugs within third world countries, the farming population must be decimated? When you kill all the farmers, then you move them out, then people will now come that will be giving improved seedlings that will now use in such farms. Is that why they have not made any arrests? Is that why they have not made any attempts to relocate people back to their ancestral homes, where they buried their great-great-grandfathers, where they have family cemeteries, where they have been living, they don't know anywhere else in Nigeria to call home, except those lands. Why is it that there is no arrest and no public prosecution? In the days when things like that happen, even for the days of Anini, when he came up, he was like somehow an armed robber for sure, but getting the money, robbing people, and then dashing people money, dashing the poor money. There was consequence for that action, and so it stopped. He was arrested, and there was a firing squad, public one. It discouraged youth from joining such gangs. It discouraged, no matter how poor you are, you rather stay alive and be poor than to be caught in that chain. But it looks as if in Nigeria the reverse is the case. They will say we are adopting kinetic and not kinetic approaches. We are de-radicalizing somebody. How do you de-radicalize somebody who has sworn to kill others for no reason? When will the arrests begin to come? Okay, look at this de-radicalization or non-kinetic mode of combating terrorism, whether it is herdsmen or bandits or kidnappers. You catch them, especially Boko Haram. You take them, you keep them in some kind of a facility. Then you begin to train them. You bring them an alternative interpretation of Islam, because it was the radicals that caught them or they joined the wrong gang, some voluntarily, some because they don't have a choice, according to some of them. And then they have killed people in different states, and they are used to that. They have money in bags in Ghana must go, so you want to de-radicalize them. And how is it? At the end of the day, you begin to teach them how to do business, how to be woodworkers, carpenters, blacksmiths, vulcanizers, or traders in business. Then what do? You either empower them and send them back to the community where they kill people's parents and children and wives. Or they will say, no, we don't want that. Something happened in Maiduguri, you relocate them to Kanu. Are you not just transferring the aggression? Why should that kind of non-kinetic favor be given to them? Some of them are even enrolled into the Nigerian Customs Service, or they choose whichever military they want to. So where are we at? If it was in the previous government, what is the current government doing? Are they the first people to lose their jobs or lose their means or have their means of livelihood threatened? They claim that, okay, the herdsmen don't have where to feed, to take care of their cattle. There is ranching. Let them buy. It is a private business. It is a private business. You remember when cell phones came in? How many people of Niger lost their jobs up till today? What of when they closed at Jakuta? How many hundreds of people lost their jobs up till today? Should they have taken guns and gone into the streets and start killing people that they must be giving? And now the government has given them a ministry of cattle or whatever, livestock. Why are they still killing? For goodness sake, why are they still killing? And then when you catch those that are killing, no consequence. This is a mess. This is unacceptable. This is unexplainable. So the governments will come out clean. If Nigerian farmers, especially in the middle belt, have been offered for sacrifice so that they will be cleansed away to make room for GMO drugs, let us know. For GMO seedlings and other things, let us know. We can't keep killing people like that. And our own government, whose major responsibility is to provide security for us by mandate, and they swore to it, and they're not living up to it. Why? What is the consequence? Now they're arresting a truckload again in Oyo State. If there was consequence, people would not want to do it. The only consequence you have is a promotion. Train them and put them in the Nigerian army or customs, or give them a business to do. So now if you catch armed robbers, what will you do? And there was this issue of Imo State again. They caught some almost involving in cannibalism. Do them, de-radicalize them as well. Anytime armed robbers are caught, they should be de-radicalized. Go and train them, give them money, and let them start a business, unless whether they will not go back to their armed robbery. So stop fooling us. You can never get peace if there is no justice. And as far as I'm concerned, this is the highest level of injustice. We should wake up to our responsibilities and call a spade a spade. A spade is not a big spoon. A shovel and a spoon that you use to eat are different things. So let them stop deceiving us, and we better stop deceiving ourselves. We are Nigerians. We are human beings. We are Africans. Let us face the facts. So government should begin to show us action that they will follow to the root cause of this. Anybody arrested must pay the consequence, and it should be public so that poverty will not push others to join the kidnappers. Poverty will not push others to join the bandits. Poverty will not push other people to go and join Boko Haram. Let there be consequences. I rest my case, Mr. Chairman, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ampam Jr., for that explosive views that you have heard. As a matter of fact, it will be strange to see a Nigerian ambassador to the US having a sort of meeting with non-state actors in the US. The US government will not take it. The White House will not take it. So why is Nigeria's situation different? That an ambassador that was sent to a country to represent the US is now having a discussion with non-state actors, Tiala Group, in Nigeria. And they have the country to even post it and make it public. It's a slap on the on Nigeria foreign policy, and it's a slap on the entire federation. That all is not well with the country. From look of things, the US embassy has already taken side with the Tiala group that have been terrorizing, allegedly, virtually all aspects of the country against the inhabitants of Nigeria, against the citizens of this country. That's what that means. If two people are fighting and you invite one to your home and have a meeting with him, what are you saying? You have shown that you are taking side, and it is very unhealthy for our country. It's a blatant disregard for the Nigeria entity as a country. Nigeria is the most populous country in the world in terms of Black people. Population of Black people across the world. Nigeria is the most populous, and Nigeria has to be respected. So it all comes down to bad leadership. When there is bad leadership, the West take advantage, and that's what is happening. And you can see the after Ibrahim Traore, all because of what he stands for, not necessarily because of operating through the military, but because he's against the imperialists, he's against the West for what they stand for. Over the years, they've been ripping Africa. They've been raping Africa alive, and we said enough is enough. Any government that is coming on board in Nigeria must be ready to prioritize the lives and property of Nigerians above any foreign interest. So that will be all from here today. I don't know if there will be more contribution on the subject matter before we close the program for the day. Madam Grace, you've not made contribution on this program. I don't know if you would like to have one today. We would like to sample your opinion as to the trending stories that we are discussing tonight. All right, you seem you are not available to speak at the moment. Thank you for always hanging out in this COPDEM People's Parliament. Thank you, Mr. Rampan Jr., for your for your contribution for this program. As always, you've always been here to air your voice and make your opinion count towards the new Nigeria that, of course, is possible. So thank you, Mr. Agoniko, for joining. Mr. Jobson, you are joining us late today. We are almost wrapping up, but before we go, I'll give you just a minute or two to have your contribution on the subject matter. I believe you already have the topic with you. So please unmute and have your contribution before we wrap up the program. Thank you. Mr. Jobson, are you there? All right, it seems you are now available to speak. We've already overshot our time. We could not start the program on time, and it's part of the reason why we have to go off at this point. Thank you for attending the program. Viewers worldwide, we thank you for following up on today's episode of the COPDEM People's Parliament. The program is posted every day, every weekdays between Mondays to Thursday by 7 p.m. So we look forward to having another explosive episode of the COPDEM People's Parliament tomorrow by 7 p.m. Also, we have activated the COPDEM Street Parliament, where we sample opinion of Nigerians across the road in their regular settings, so that they can also have their contribution on governance as it affects each and every one of us. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here with us at the COPDEM People's Parliament. From here, that will be good night and have a lovely night rest.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Yes, thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Mr. Due Process.
Thank you, Mr. Agoni.